Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marilyn and my channel is Making with Marilyn. Now if my shirt looks familiar, you probably saw my last video. In that video, I showed you how I took an image from Creative Fabrica, I put it on the computer, I used the DTF printer software to print it, I powdered the back of it, I cured the powder, and then I pressed it onto the shirt. Well, in today's video, we're still going to be using the DTF printer, but I want to put a couple of different images on things I can hang on the wall. So in this video, I'm going to put a DTF image on this canvas board. This is one of those thin, hard canvas boards. And then the second thing that I'm using is a piece of wood. Now, I purposefully didn't want it solid white. I kind of wanted it to look beachy, if that's the right description. Here's what it started out as. I put 2 coats of chalk paint on it. I love to use chalk paint when I'm adding heat to something. We're going to put a DTF image on this. So if you're interested in seeing how these come out, sit back, relax, and let's get started. This is my DTF printer. DTF stands for Direct to Film. Mine is a Pro Colored L1800 and it'll print up to 13 inches wide. The benefit of a DTF printer is you can print anything. It can be a picture, it can be a PNG, and the other benefit is you can put this design on any color. Now the reason you can put this on any color of shirt or bag or whatever you're putting it on is because of the white ink. So with a DTF printer, the first ink that comes out are the colors, and then it follows behind with white ink. Because I'm putting my design on white backing today, I didn't really have to have the white ink on there, but I just thought about that as I was editing this video. In the DTF video that I published just a couple of days ago, I showed how to use the software, so I'm going to skip that in this video. I will have a link to that video in this video's description, so if you want to see that, check out that link in the video description. Once my design finishes printing, I can go ahead and have the film come out of the machine, and then there's this little slide cutter that I can use to cut it off. Here's what it looks like so far, and if I show you the back, it just looks almost like a matte paint. The next step in the process is to add this PYD Life DTF powder to the back of this. I have this container so that when I sprinkle the powder over the image, the container catches the excess because I can put it right back into the container. And then I'm going to wear this respirator mask and some gloves. So I just put my image in there with the white side up. And then I sprinkle a generous amount of this powder on the design. Again, I'm going to go ahead and catch the excess powder and put it back into the container, so I'm not wasting any. I like to grab both sides of my design and then rock it back and forth about 6 times. You just have to make sure that every bit of that ink gets covered with powder. After I've done that, I can shake my design and then I can tap it to get the excess off. It still looks the same from the front, but the back looks like there's sugar on it. And this powder is so fine that it looks more like a powdered sugar. Now it's time to cure the powder or melt the powder. So I put it in this curing oven, turn it on, and what this is going to do is it's going to melt that powder so that it's one solid layer. Now as it comes out of the oven, it's no longer melty or sticky. Just let it rest for a couple of seconds, then you can touch it with no problems. Now before I put anything on my canvas board, I'm going to go ahead and preheat it. And I just put the canvas board under there for maybe 8 or 10 seconds. Not very long at all. But I wanted to remove moisture that might be in that top layer. Now that our designs are both ready, it's time to press them. Now here's what I decided. I decided that since this one was kind of grungy, I would put it on a solid background. And then since this one has solid colors, I'm going to put it on the painted wood. The painted wood's kind of streaky. I just felt like that might be a good combination. So let's go ahead and start with this one. I want to center my design onto my canvas board. And I'm not going to be super picky about this. I'm going to put these two signs under my covered porch behind our house. And so they are going to get some type of weather. It's going to be covered, but it's still going to get humidity and heat and all that. So I don't know if these are going to last more than just one season, but I wanted to try them out to see. So we're going to get this centered up. I'm not going to use any tape. And I really wanted my film to be a little larger than my blank, especially with the canvas, because I didn't want the hard line of the film to get impressed into the canvas. Now I have one little area it's not covering, but I think I'll be okay. That looks good. Let me go ahead and turn my heat press back on. I turned it off because it makes this clicking noise while I'm talking. So it's almost up to temperature. I'll turn it on and let's get started pressing this. I'm going to go ahead and let this cool all the way off. Also, I decided to do a little less time than I do on shirts. So I press this at 325 for 15 seconds. Let's go ahead and press the second one. This time I'm using some parchment paper because on this one I could tell it was wanting to kind of stick to the top platen. Here's what it looks like so far, and I can see that the film is actually starting to already lift in some places, which is what you want. So let's set this aside and let's go ahead and see if we can't peel this film off. Now I'm just going to start at a corner and slowly peel it up. I saw one of the little pieces kind of try to lift. But we have another part to this process that'll help with that. What we're going to do is we're going to put the parchment paper back on top of it and we're going to press it for 15 more seconds. This is adorable. Let me show you. It is so cute. It's vibrant. It's adhered really well. Now the one thing I notice is my canvas looks a little bit warped from the heat. So what I'll do is I'll end up putting it back under the heat press just for a few seconds. I'll have that parchment paper on top. I'll take it out and I'll put it under something heavy so that as it cools off, it's going to be more flat. Then the other thing is I can see a little bit of the adhesive powder that oozed out from below the ink. I'll get it close to the camera here in a minute so you can see that. It doesn't distract from it, but I wanted to note it. All right, let's see how this one turns out. Just like on that one, I want to start peeling up just to make sure it's releasing well. And before I take it all off, let me show you something because you can tell where it's starting to release. Not the ink, you can tell where the film is starting to release. Let me show you what that looks like. Hopefully you were able to see that, but let's go ahead and take the rest of the film off. And just like the last one, I love this. It is so cute. So cute. I do want to go ahead and put parchment paper on top and press it again for about 10 seconds. I don't think I'll go the full 15 this time. still super cute. It feels nice and adhered. It felt very hot there, but it felt nice and adhered. And I do see some of the adhesive that came out from under this too. Again, it's not distracting. I have to really turn it to even see it, but I can see it in the glare. These are adorable. Let me bring them real close to the camera. Here's the two signs again. I love both of them. I don't know that I have a favorite. I think they're both super cute. Now, if you enjoyed the video, you found anything helpful or just even entertaining, please give me that thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, leave them in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing that. If you subscribe, be sure you tap that bell and select all notifications. That way YouTube lets you know anytime I upload new content. Thanks again for spending time with me today, and until my next video, bye-bye.